Okay, so my opponent's Beiyang knee. He's 2080. I played him in the last Charlotte tournament and we drew. So this is revenge for somebody. I don't know, revenge for me or revenge for him. I played e4 again. And then he played d6, unlike my round one opponent played e6. So I played the queen takes d4 line. And there's a really long, tricky line that I know that's not very theoretical. And usually my opponents avoid it. And then I'm sitting here confused. What happened this game? In this position, 90% of people take with the bishop. That's the line that I know. But he took with the pawn, so I was already on my own. But I played fine. I castle, that's fine. Queen d3 is best. c4 is probably the best. I mean, I played fine this game. Engine wants me to play bishop g5 or b4. Says I'm slightly better. Played h3 and then b3. And the reason I played b3 is I thought his only counterplay was to play d5. So I wanted my bishop on b2 so that e5 would be weak if he ever played d5. And I thought if he never played d5, then, you know, I have a bind. Okay, now he played a move that you shouldn't try at home. If he just castles, the engine says this is equal. Hopefully I'm the better player, higher rated. The better player should win equal position. But he played g5. Engine doesn't like very much. And now, although I thought about this move earlier, I decided not to do it ever. Now the engine wants me to play c5 because he played g5 and try to open up the center at the cost of a pawn. His pawn structure is really bad. And so the engine says c5 is the best move and white's up 0.4. I played knight e2 because I saw the juicy f5 square and I wanted to get the juicer over to f5, knight g3, then this knight could go to e3 and f5, or I could play knight h2, knight f1, knight e3, or knight d2, knight f1, knight e3. So I wanted to get both of my knights in position to go to f5. Okay, in this position, I expected my opponent to play knight h5, and the engine says knight h5 is the best. Played g4, which is second best. Then he immediately took with the knight, which slightly surprised me, and I played knight g3. Now the engine says I'm up 0.5. And just like my last opponent, now he started playing moves I didn't look at all. So I guess he was worried I would play c5. I thought he would play h5, h4, which is what the engine says. He played c5, I thought was bad. Engine says it's bad. Okay, and I played knight f5, which is fine. He played a strange move, queen c6. I guess the idea is he wants to take and play e4. Anyway, I played rook e1. Later, I want to move my knight and play f4. So I want my rooks on e1 and f1. My rook on a1 doesn't really do anything on the queen side. But if I play f4, then both of my rooks are on the correct squares. And this way, I prevent him from playing bishop takes f5 and e4. Played rook g8. That's fine. I thought about playing knight h4, but I thought it was better to make his king move. So I took and then played knight h4. And Engine says I'm up 0.6, 0.7. I have a better pawn structure. I have a safer king. He has a lot of weak squares. He has 2 isolated pawns. My pawn structure is intact. And here he made a terrible blunder, which is quite funny. His rating was 2080. Also a kid, obviously. Probably 14 or 15, I guess. Can anybody guess the blunder that Black played here? Queen d5 is certainly a blunder. Bishop star's got it. It's got to be f6. So I assume, I didn't ask him, I assume he thought I was going to play f4, which I wasn't, but I would eventually. And then he played f6 to bolster his center. But actually, if I play f4, assuming it's my move, then he can play f6. So I was going to play f3, attacking his knight, and when his knight goes to f6, then play f4. So his e-pawn is more loose. But he played f6, which confused me. And if your opponent plays f6, the only winning move is f3. Bam! Proving all my rules or disproving them. f3, refuting f6. I have to start a new rule. Never play f3 unless your opponent plays f6 first. Then play f3. I thought me playing the game, it was funny that f6 loses to f3. Yeah, he just got rid of the retreat square for his knight because he was expecting f4 and I guess didn't look at f3. Pretty bad blunder for somebody that rating. Okay, so he played h5. And we traded some pieces. He threatened my g2 pawn. I defended it. And he played h4. And in this position, I calculated really far ahead. And luckily, my calculation was right. And I won the game very quickly. I should win eventually. The Engine wants me to play king h2 to get off of the g file. I'm sure I considered. But I played rook e to f2. Not really worried about h3 because I can take it with the queen. Now I want to take on f6. And he very quickly played the move that I analyzed the most. He could take on e4, but f6 is hanging. And I am up a bishop, so he probably doesn't want to trade queens. Anyway, he made a mistake. He played rook 8 to g6. Now I can ask the chat, what's the best move for white? Yeah, you have my permission to rickroll everybody. Yeah. Nobody resigns when they're a piece down to me. They've seen me play before. Rook h5 is the second best move. But it's not spectacular like what I played. My move was real and it's spectacular. One person put the right move in the chat. I don't know if he calculated and he's a strong master or he blundered. I can't tell. Or he used an engine. Well, all these things are possible. Okay, so the best move, which I calculated when I played here, that if he played here, I could take. Subscribing at tier 3 is good when I just played rook takes f6. See if you guys can figure out the complications. Okay, so my opponent took, and then as people have pointed out in the chat, if king takes, I check. If rook f4, I can take it. And if king g5, then I check and take the rook. So in this position, my opponent played rook takes e4. And in this position, when I played here, I already saw rook takes e4. And I already had a move against it. So what was the move that I played? Bishop e4 is illegal. Rook f3 and rook f1 are shallow and pedantic. Queen takes d6 does win, but it wins for black. Contango just suggesting every legal move. Yeah, a couple people in the chat got it. Rook takes d6. Bam. I already saw that a few moves ago. Anybody who said a move that's not rook takes d6 is banned. It's tough but fair. Okay, so the idea is if he takes my rook, I take his rook. Other idea is if he plays rook e1 check, I play king f2, attacking his rook, and I'm attacking his queen, and then I'm just a piece up for no pawns once he trades. So he played queen takes instead of resigning. In this position, I thought he would resign because it's pretty resignable. But again, people don't resign against me when they're down a piece. Man, I must have a bad reputation. Like 30, 40 years ago, if I was up a piece, people resigned. And I used to be good. Now I'm so bad, they're like, I don't know, maybe Ben will mess it up. He played king e6, and I checked, and then he resigned. So that was my best game, I think, of the tournament.